Welcome everyone.
Yes.
I am Koheli Bhattacharya from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at IIT Kharagpur, India. I will be presenting our work incorporating domain knowledge for extractive summarization of legal case documents. So case documents are inherently very lengthy, free-flowing, unstructured and dense legal text. Reading and understanding these documents is difficult even for legal experts. Therefore, it is necessary to summarize these case documents. Existing legal IR systems employ attorneys or paralegals to manually write summaries. This incurs a high subscription cost of these systems. This calls for the need of developing automatic summarization systems with the overall objective to improve the legal understanding with lesser dependence upon experts. Now, document summarization is not a new problem. There are methods for news document summarization, scientific article summarization, and so on. Let us see what is different in legal case documents. So on the left, there is a news document. So as we see that it is a very short document and the first paragraph usually summarizes these news documents. Next, there is a snippet of a scientific document, particularly a research article. So these documents are lengthy, but they are segmented into sections and subsections with paragraph headings. On the right, you can see a case document from the Supreme Court of India. These documents are lengthy and it is just a free-flowing text with no section headings. There is something called rhetorical segments in a legal case document, but these segments are often not explicitly mentioned. Let us understand what these rhetorical segments are. So rhetorical segments or labels in a case document are the semantic functions which sentences in a case document plays. So these are usually one of the following labels. Facts, that is the sentences that denote the chronology of events that led to filing the case. There are sentences that denote the legal issues being discussed, so we call them as issue. There are also sentences that denote the ruling or judgments given at the lower courts, so we call them ruling by lower court. Similarly, there are arguments by the contending parties, which we call as argument. Sentences that have citations to established laws by the current case, which we call as the label statute. There are also citations to prior cases, and we call these sentences as precedent. There are sentences that describe the rationale or the reasoning of the court for the final ruling, and we call them as ratio of the decision. And finally, the sentences that give the final judgment or the conclusion of the court. So on the right, this is an illustrative example of how a case document, when the sentences are labeled with each of these rhetorical labels, looks like. So the first approximately four sentences have been labeled as facts. Then some sentences have been labeled as issue. Then one sentence has been labeled as ruling by lower court, and so on. So legal experts have some guidelines on how to summarize a case document. Some of these guidelines from USA and UK are given in the links below. We also discussed with law experts from India, and all of them basically devise the following set of guidelines. So the first one is that each rhetorical segment should be summarized well and have representation in the final summary. This is because often law practitioners or academicians or others wish to read only the summary of particular segments. Example, summary of only the facts or summary of only the ratio. So this following this guideline is important. Second is that each of these segments should also, the important parts of each segment should be present in the summary. For example, from the statute segment, sentences that cite the relevant acts or laws should be present. Now let us see what are the existing methods for case document summarization. So in this work, we are considering extractive text summarization algorithms. So they can be broadly classified into two main families. domain independent, and legal domain specific. And under each of these families, there are supervised and unsupervised methods. So under domain independent supervised methods, we have the state-of-the-art deep learning models like Samaraner, BERT-SUM, and so on. So as these are deep learning models, they require huge amounts of training data, which is expensive to obtain in the legal domain. Also, these methods were developed and evaluated on news documents, which are short. But when we apply them to summarize lengthy case documents, these algorithms become very resource intensive. Coming to unsupervised domain independent methods, so they can actually summarize any document. So they do not incorporate any legal domain specific knowledge. Now coming to the second family of methods, legal domain specific. The first one is the GIST method, which is supervised. As it is a supervised method, it requires large amounts of training data. Also, although it is legal domain specific, but there were no domain specific attributes such as rhetorical labels considered in this algorithm. Finally, there are many legal domain specific unsupervised methods. So case summarizer is one, but this algorithm does not assume the presence of any rhetorical role. So they rank sentences based on some importance score, but this score is based on a heuristic where there is no parameter from the rhetorical role perspective. The other three methods, LETSUM, KMM, and MMR, uses a rhetorical information, but just to display the summary in a templatic format. It does not use rhetorical information in estimating the importance of sentences for generating the summary. For instance, LETSUM uses TF-IDF to measure the importance of the sentences. In short, there are two main drawbacks of the prior works. The first one is that the existing algorithms do not incorporate legal domain specific knowledge systematically. While the supervised methods are expected to learn these rules automatically, there are two disadvantages. First is that there is a scarcity of expert written summaries in large amounts to be used as training data. Secondly, summary requirement may vary for different stakeholders. For example, a journalist who is briefing a case wants a different type of a summary. Maybe he or she wants the ratio to be summarized well, whereas a law practitioner may want the facts and arguments to be summarized well. So it is not practical to gather huge amounts of training data to cater to each type of the stakeholders. So in this work, we propose DELSUM, which is an unsupervised domain adaptive extractive legal summarization algorithm. DELSUM works in an optimization framework to incorporate legal domain knowledge into an objective function with constraints, and this objective function is maximized using integer linear programming. So DELSUM takes as input a document where each sentence is labeled with a rhetorical role and the desired length of the summary in number of words. Let us call that L. So given these two inputs, DELSUM produces a summary of at most L words. So the optimization framework of DELSUM has two main components. The first is the informativeness of a sentence. It measures the amount of important information contained in a sentence. We assume that domain experts will define how to estimate the informativeness of a sentence. The second one is the content words. That is the words that signify domain-specific vocabulary. With each content word is a score which shows how important that content word is. Again, we assume that domain experts will define what the content words are and how the scores are defined. DELSUM produces a summary that maximizes the following objective function. That is, it tries to maximize the inclusion of informative sentences and the number of important content words, subject to constraints that the summary length should not exceed L words. And there are other constraints, so please refer to our paper for more details on this. Now let us see how the legal expert guidelines can be incorporated into DELSUM. In this work, we considered summarizing Indian Supreme Court case documents, and our experts are the senior law students and a professor from the Rajiv Gandhi School of Intellectual Property Law, which is a reputed law school in India. So the first guideline they gave us is that in general, the summary should contain representations from all segments of a case document, and the relative importance of segments in the summary should be as follows. So first and foremost are the final judgment and the issue. Next comes the facts. Then the statutes, precedents, and ratio are of approximately same weightage. And then comes arguments. And the other label, ruling by lower court, is not so important to be included in the summary and may as well be discarded. So we formalize this in DELSUM as follows. So we have a variable called weight K, which defines the weights of each of these segments, and we assign the highest weight to the segment's final judgment and issue. And for the other segments, the weights decrease exponentially or linearly. We may as well assign discrete scores to or discrete weights to each of these segments. The second guideline is that the segment's final judgment and issue are exceptionally important in the summary. The segments are usually very short, and so they should be included completely in the summary. And to ensure a balanced representation, a minimum of 2 sentences from the other segments should be included. We formalize this guideline in DELSUM as follows. We have a variable NOS, or number of sentences for a segment K, defined as follows, that if the segment is final judgment or issue, then all of the sentences should be taken. Otherwise, a minimum of 2 sentences should be taken. The third guideline is that the important sentences should be decided based on which segment that sentence belongs to, and also other factors. If the sentence is from fact, then we will take the weight of the segment fact and also the inverse of the position of the sentence. If the sentences are from the segment statute, then we will see if the sentence contains citations to an act. So for that, we keep an indicator variable AI for statute, and this AI is 1 if there is a citation to an act, otherwise 0. Similarly, for precedents, we see if the sentences contain citations to prior cases. And for the segment ratio, the guideline is that the sentences appearing at the end of the document and those that discuss relevant statutes and precedents are important. So to formalize this, we assign the weight of the segment ratio, that is weight K, the position of the sentence, and whether there is a mention of statute or a precedent. The final guideline is that the summary must contain sentences that give important details of the case, including acts and sections of acts that were referred, names of people and places, and also sentences containing specific legal keywords are important. So we formalize this by having 3 types of content words. The first one is the acts or sections of acts, to which we assign a score of 5. The second type of content words are the keywords from a legal dictionary, to which we assign a score of 3. And then we have the noun phrases, to which we assign a score of 1. Now, let us see the dataset and experimental details of this paper. So in this work, we considered 50 Indian Supreme Court case documents, where each sentence of a document was labeled with one of the 8 rhetorical segments. So this dataset is available from our prior work. Each of these 50 documents had gold standard summaries written by 2 senior law students from the Rajiv Gandhi School of Law. They wrote segment-wise summaries and they combined ratio and precedent into one segment analysis. The summary lengths were approximately 30% of the original document, and we had 2 sets of summaries. The metrics, the evaluation metrics we considered are the rule scores between the gold standard summaries and the algorithmic summaries. We considered several baselines. So from the 4 families, which I described in one of my earlier slides. So from the unsupervised family, we have domain independent as well as legal domain specific methods. And from supervised also, we have domain independent and domain specific methods. So the supervised methods were trained on 7,100 document summary pairs. So details of this training mechanism can be found in our paper. So now let's see the results of the approaches and also some analysis. So this table shows the Rouge 2 and Rouge L recall and F scores. So out of all the domain specific methods, both supervised and unsupervised, we see that DELSUM performs the best for all the measures. While comparing with supervised domain independent methods, we see that DELSUM outperforms both SummerRunner and BERTSUM. The difference with SummerRunner in Rouge 2 is not statistically significant. Note that DELSUM is unsupervised, whereas SummerRunner and BERTSUM were trained on 7,100 documents. Next, we do a segment-wise performance evaluation. So in this table are the segment-wise Rouge L F scores of all the methods. The values in red underlined are the ones which are less than 0.3, and the best value for each segment is in green bold. So as one can observe that DELSUM performs best in 3 out of the 6 segments, and overall it achieves a balanced representation of all the segments in the summary. Especially DELSUM performs better for final judgment and issue, which are the most important segments in the summary. These are also the shortest segments. Other algorithms with no domain knowledge completely misses these segments. So we have more analysis and intuitions in the paper. So till now, we have been using expert assigned rhetorical role labels for summarization. But in a practical scenario, it is not possible that sentences in the input case documents will be labeled by the experts. So in this experiment, we use a state-of-the-art model to first rhetorically label the documents and then feed them to DELSUM. So the results show that the performance does not drop much, even when the rhetorical labels are around 80% accurate. Let us now give a brief note on the generalizability of DELSUM. So DELSUM is generalizable to documents from different jurisdictions as well as different stakeholders like law practitioners, students, etc. So this is because DELSUM is quite customizable, and this is through the different parameters like the segments and weights of the segments can be defined by whoever is using this algorithm. Also, the minimum number of sentences from each segment can be given as input. Finally, the content words and what will be the weight of these content words can be decided by the different stakeholders. DELSUM can be modified to include various guidelines. For example, if a stakeholder or jurisdiction wants the summary to have facts and final judgment, then WK and NOSK should be kept higher for K is equal to facts and final judgment. Similarly, if there is a use case that the statute sentences should be more than the sentences with noun phrases, then the score of the statute words can be kept higher than the score of the noun phrases. So to conclude, in this work, we propose DELSUM that can efficiently encode domain knowledge for extractive summarization of legal case documents. We show that it is necessary because important segments like final judgment and issue gets missed in otherwise unguided algorithms. DELSUM achieves a balanced representation and it can also handle redundancy efficiently. It is also generalizable to different jurisdiction and stakeholders. So as a future work, we plan to explore how these otherwise hand-tuned parameters of DELSUM can be automatically derived, how the weights can be automatically derived. So our implementation of DELSUM is publicly available. I would like to conclude by acknowledging the law experts from the Rajiv Gandhi School of Intellectual Property Law, India, TCS for their fellowship, the Mirror EU project, and Complex Networks Research Group, IIT Kharagpur. Thank you, and I can take questions now.
Thank you very much, Paheli. Well, we have one question for you from Marcelo Lopez. Do you have any hypothesis that could explain why the unsupervised algorithm you developed outperformed the supervised learning models?
Yeah, okay. So the supervised training algorithms depend on the kind of data they are given to summarize. I mean, the learning process depends on what kind of data they are given. So maybe the summaries which we collected from our website, maybe their quality did not adhere to the guidelines of what the legal experts tell us. So maybe that is a reason why the supervised methods did not perform well.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you have any other considerations or few words to finish it?
No, it's fine. So thank you everyone for your attention, and please go through our paper, and if you have any questions, you can get back to the authors, me and the other authors. Thank you.
The first one from Brazil is a comment made by Mrs. Kaliani Pimentel. She says that you have a very interesting study and that in Brazil, this could complement case law head notes, which are made without AI resources and generally by law clerks. Please, Ms. Pahelli, the floor is yours.
Yeah. To answer this question, so what you call as head notes, we call it as summary, case summary. So they basically mean the same. So yes, our method can be used along with legal experts. So in a way that the guidelines on how a head note should be produced. So these guidelines will actually come from the legal experts or the law clerks. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Pahelli. I guess we are having some connection troubles, but can you listen to me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Is my voice breaking? Or?
Okay, no, it's just okay. The problem is the camera. I believe we cannot see you right now because of connection,
okay.
but we can listen to you perfectly. Okay, now we can see again. Okay, perfect. May I pose you the second question? Is that okay for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 second. We have a second question from Mr. Carlos Braga from Brazil as well. So he says, since the automatic summarization model was developed based on the structure of Indian court decisions, what are the main challenges in adapting this model for application in other countries?
Okay, so to adapt it to other jurisdictions, we have to customize the different parameters of DELSUM. So the main parameters are like what are the rhetorical segments. So for Indian court decisions, like we have devised 8 rhetorical labels. So for some other jurisdictions, some other set of labels can be devised, and according to that, one can incorporate that into DELSUM. Apart from that, we also have to say that how much representation is required from each of the rhetorical segments into the summary. So for instance, in Indian court decisions, we understand from our legal experts that the final judgment and issue are very important, whereas the arguments and ruling by the lower court are not very much important in the summary. So we assign the weights of the segments accordingly. So this also has to be adjusted according to the jurisdiction. And finally, how to define important sentence, that is deciding like which sentences should go into the summary. So this importance score should also be defined. So here we have done it through content words. So one can devise different content words for different jurisdictions according to like what is required. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Ms. Pahelli. We have a third question from the audience. I don't know if you are able to answer or not. Just in case,
Yeah,
I believe,
okay.
I believe we're running out of time actually. So I'll just pass the floor again to you for a final moment, 1 last minute, then you can have 1 minute more, okay?
Okay, so yeah, I can see one question that how to identify the rules to offer an effective summarization. So yeah, so these rules can either be we can either get them from the law experts or the different stakeholders who wants to have the summarization, or in the absence of some expert, you may see some summaries by yourself, and you can have an idea that yes, from this jurisdiction this kind of summary is required, and you can adjust the parameters of DELSUM accordingly. The other question I see is that why not output just a structured representation of the case? So so this problem is actually of summarization. So for example, given n sentences of a case document, we have to select some L sentences out of n. So this is why it becomes an objective function with constraints, where we have to maximize selecting the L sentences which are actually of very importance. So that is the basic task of summarization. Okay, so yeah, so thank you for giving me this opportunity to present at IKL. It was very good to interact with the audience. So I would request all of you to please go through our paper, and we also have our code available on GitHub. So you can get back to us, to all the authors, if you have more questions. Thank you.